So why is this important? It indicates that there must be some environmental or social factor that affects young people particularly that must be driving this epidemic, right? Because it's so common in young people. So let's have a look at why this might be. So I'm sure you may have heard of the nature versus nurture debate, or the genes versus environmental causes debate. So is depression and anxiety caused by biological factors that we inherit from our parents, or are they caused by environmental factors? Or could it be a mix of the two? So biological factors for anxiety, the evidence is mixed, and that twin studies have shown that 30 to 40% of anxiety, 30 to 40% of the heritability or the likelihood of developing an anxiety disorder is down to genetics. So this is quite high. There are other genetic risk factors at play. So other things that you may inherit, traits like shyness, which may also increase the likelihood of developing an anxiety disorder. And then finally, I'd like to point towards the last bullet point in the biological or the nature side of the debate, which is neuropsychological studies, which are really useful for examining the brain and what's going on inside the brain when it comes to mental illness. So specifically, they found that the overactivity of a neurotransmitter, noradrenaline, is largely associated with anxiety attacks. So this is something to bear in mind in terms of, is it nature or is it nurture that's driving anxiety? On the other hand, common environmental factors that research have cited are childhood trauma, PTSD, family's accommodation of anxiety can increase its severity. Having anxious parents can increase the likelihood of children reflecting anxious behaviors, stresses like work or bullying, and parental mental health. What about depression then? So with depression, the main biological factor, or the biological argument that would support nature, so that depression is an inherited disease rather than a result of the environment, is the serotonin hypothesis. So serotonin's chemical name is 5-HT, and that's another neurotransmitter. The serotonin hypothesis basically says that depression is caused by an imbalance of this neurotransmitter serotonin within the brain, and a reduction in serotonin levels can cause depression symptoms to arise. And this is a hotly debated theory, but it springs from the idea that antidepressant medications, which we will discuss later on, impact on one's serotonin levels and therefore increase or decrease depressive symptoms, and therefore provide some evidence towards the serotonin hypothesis. However, many psychologists nowadays think that attributing depression solely to serotonin or one neurotransmitter is a bit reductive and a bit too simplified, and that actually the causes of depression are much more complicated. And on the other hand, we have environmental factors. So demographic factors like gender, unemployment, having a low socioeconomic status, your relationship status. These all can contribute to depression. And this suggests strong cultural and social determinants. Then there are social factors, such as stressful life events, which could be deaths, natural disasters, academic failure, moving house, health, divorce, or daily stresses, or trauma, social relationships, relatively similar to those we saw with anxiety. Psychological factors, such as distorted cognitions, personality traits, and temperament. So temperament being another word for mood.